Well, I've got a bit of a special treat today because I'm up in the northwest of England at Lakemore Fishery near Haslington, which is not far from Crewe, and I'm joined by Mark Ashmore, the fishery owner, and he's going to take us around and show us some of the hot spots on the lake. Somewhere we're going to catch some cats maybe, or some carp, so we're going to have a little bit of a jaunt round and see Horseshoe, I think, first.
I'll show you up onto the Horseshoe first. The lake was constructed about 30 years ago. My dad started a project just for personal use, really. We started with one called the Willow Pool, which is further down the bottom, and then it progressed, and he just kept digging holes pretty much. That's how it all came about.
It's a bit more than just a hole in the ground now.
It is now.
It's an absolutely beautiful place.
Yeah. I mean, every tree, every rush, everything was put in by hand.
Yeah.
And it started. We kept them private for such a long time. We decided to diversify about 10 years ago. And the rest is history, as they say. Yeah. And that's just how it's gone.
Well, it's a place that's certainly got a bit of magical charm for me. I've not caught a catfish here yet, mate, but that's probably more down to me. It's probably down to me more than the actual fishery. So we come up to the first swim here.
This is peg 3.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite pegs, to be honest. This one. It's not over deep, to be honest. You're looking about 3.5 foot this time of the year. Winter time we get up to about 4.5. You've got a nice channel in front of the trees.
Yeah.
Obviously you got your lily beds, your weed. It does some serious fish. Did a 47-pound cat yesterday, which is, it's a good sized fish.
Well, there's lots of features here. I mean, for somebody who's just come into the lake who's never fished it, the best thing to do obviously is find out a little bit of information first, check the website and stuff.
Yeah,
but as a sort of blueprint for all the pegs really, if you're going to come here and target catfish, just one method that you'd suggest,
on this,
the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best methods on this lake, I would say, would be the pellet approach, the element pellets. Yeah. I wouldn't go over the top with the amount of pellets you put in, but I would put a few in, to be honest. Apart from that, popped up squid, popped up worms, just the norm really, what general catfish anglers use, but they do like the pellets. Yeah. It does an awful lot of fish on the pellets.
Okay.
Boilies, basically my personal opinion on the cats is if they're hungry, they eat.
Yeah, they're scavengers
They'll
anyway.
Anything at all, yeah.
Well, you've got something.
Lads have caught on anything from a whiskey boilie, sweet corn, any manner of thing. It's hungry fish eat.
And just while we're on here, before we move on to the other pegs, just basic kit requirements. I mean,
kit requirements. There's two extremes. A lot of lads who come here in the past, the carp anglers, they can adapt that tackle they've got very easily to catching a cat. Yeah. So it's the same reels, same rods, same alarms. You don't have to go to the extreme like you do with pike, where you need drop-offs, drop-off swingers, different alarms, different braided line. You can use a very, very similar tackle that you would for your carp. Yeah. What you might be better off doing is stepping up your end tackle.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd step up your end tackle purely because of the abrasion that you get off the cats. Okay. So step up to a braid, 40-45 pound braid, something like that.
Fairly strong hooks, presumably.
Yes, we do. A lot of lads are using your Catfish Pro Eagle Wave hooks. That's what a lot of the lads are using. Hook size, this is a big debate when people come. It all is relevant to the size of the bait.
Yeah. So,
the bigger the bait, the bigger the hook. Don't be scared to use a big hook with a big bait, really.
Excellent. Right, well, where are we off to next?
Well, this is peg 3, so we'll have a look down on peg 1.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the tour and we'll take it all the way around.
Brilliant. Okay, let's go. Oh, this looks a bit special. It's a big old oak tree.
It is, yeah. This is peg 1.
Yeah.
We used to have the swim across the other side, and we decided to move it here a couple of years back, and since then it's proved to be very, very productive. Got a nice deep hole just in the middle there. You drop into about 6 or 7 foot. Not the biggest peg in the world, but it does some serious fish. It really does.
Well, being at the end of the lake, I suppose, really, when there's a few anglers on, they like in any environment.
It's very territorial. Your cats are. They seem to be, in my opinion. So they seem to drop down this corner. Yeah. You don't catch many small fish down here, but when you catch one, it's usually a proper one. Yeah.
What about to the left? We've got a lot of lily pads over.
A lot of the lilies and the weed, and the levels start to come up slightly there. There's a lot of carp there now, and they tend to knock around just there.
Yeah.
And again, you drop into like a basin effect here.
I was saying to you before, we've got the oak tree above us.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking swim. Anybody caught on
Nobody's ever caught on acorns. No, they've tried squirrel.
Squirrels?
Yeah, it's live squirrel.
Okay.
Getting them to stay alive with that straw.
I don't know if that's
system we've got
PC
is,
or not, but live squirrels.
Well, you know.
Oh, you can say squirrel food, but you can't say squirrel meat.
Exactly. You know, it's just about being politically correct, I suppose.
Yeah. And just before we leave this insane peg, you don't know anything about that, do you?
I have no idea what that is at all.
It's an interesting feature, but we don't know what it is.
It appeared, my old art teacher, when I was at school, quite a few years ago, he brought it one day and he was a bit mad from the day I met him, and he never did tell me where it come from, but he maintains it came from the jungle.
Yeah.
But to be truthful, I don't know if it is, because he did used to smoke quite a lot.
So there you have it, peg one for slightly twisted cat anglers. If anybody knows what this plant is, answer on a postcard to Lakemore Fisheries, please.
Yes, and you win a prize.
Yeah, win a prize.
Peg 2.
Some acorns. We're off to now.
Peg 2.
Okay. That's a bit more of an expansive swim, peg 2. It's a great view looking across there. You can see that wonderful old bridge. What's that used for, by the way?
The bridge was put there. My dad put it in when he constructed the lake purely for the purpose to get onto the island for planting. It's not very safe at all, so it is cordoned off so nobody can get on the bridge because it isn't very safe at all.
That pushes you through. As you look through that gully there, where does that?
That takes you to pegs 5 and 6 on the opposite bank. We do close certain pegs on an annual basis. We rotate them around every year. So there's only ever 8 swims open. We just to keep the fish interested, on the toes, keep them moving around, stop them holding up in certain areas. But this is peg 2. This one stays open all the time. This isn't one that changes.
It's a massive. It's a double swim, really. Isn't it?
Yeah. There's certainly plenty of size for bivvies. I like to make everybody as comfy as I can when they come. Fishing wise, just again in the middle. It seems to be this side. These pegs 1, 2, and 3. They do like the middle sections.
If you look into the middle when you come on this swim, you can actually see the definition between the weeds and then a few lily pads and then just big gaps in it, and presumably that's the depth.
That's the depth. Yeah, I mean, you've got your weed growing on the right there, and then again you're dropping in the middle, not over deep, 4.5 foot maybe in that middle section there, just under the tree. So many people ignore just under the trees there, just in front of your feet. It's nice. You've got quite a bit of depth there. Again, pretty much weed free in those kind of areas. So.
Well, I think even though these are narrow swims, the tendency for lots of anglers is to fish as far as they can away from where they are.
Yeah, they're casting over fish, a lot of people are.
I think there's something to be said for that if you're making a lot of noise, but if you use a bit of a stealth approach, like you come here and don't hammer the bivvies in, all these inside margin swims are definitely potential for a bait.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, well, it's a fabulous looking swim too. I mean, they all look great with these big old willows. I mean, how long have these been growing, did you say?
The willows, they were all been put in by hand, so they'd only be maybe 4 foot high when they were put in. So you're knocking on for 30 years. And just let nature take its course over a period of time. That's what we did.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference really between an established fisher and some of these what they call muddy puddles. You look at them, they've got no character, they've got no grass, they've got no foliage, and catch fish on them. But for me, this is what angling's about, more of a natural environment, and of course with that you get a lot of the natural wildlife as well, don't you?
Yeah, we've got we've got kingfishers, barn owls, buzzards. There's all manner of different things.
Not so many squirrels.
Not so many squirrels, no, because the bears eat most of them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, on that point, we'll move on.
We'll move on to peg 3.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay.